I'm going to raise up a prophet likened unto thee, Moses, in the latter day. And that's in the Quran too. There's a section in here, a prophet like Moses, in Surah 28. These books don't fight against one another. So you're looking at something, we're looking at something with this message that was given from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on November 16th. That is fulfilling prophecy, brothers and sisters. Why do I keep stressing that? Because many of our people have not read the transcript or watched the press conference of Minister Farrakhan. And brothers and sisters, it is of dire need for yourself, your family, and your loved ones that you read up on this or watch this press conference. Don't take it like it ain't serious.
Very serious.
It's very serious. First of all, you don't know of no black man.
No black man.
In the modern day and time or before that is stepping before white people like that outside of people like Frederick Douglass. I mean, I gotta give it up for Fred. Now, 1776, in the midst of crackers, if you read his speech about the 4th of July, you gotta think, you gotta imagine the atmosphere. They were killing and hanging black folks for even thinking some of the stuff he said. Now, why he went and married a white woman, I don't know. I'm still. Because there's been a lot of others that done that. I don't know. I don't understand that psychology. But speaking truth to power in the face of danger. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, but the might and power of America today. For him, Minister Farrakhan, to speak the way don't you know, and the brother was just showing us this yesterday. They got little micro nuclear weapons that can fly in this room like a light bulb, like a lightning bulb, and neutralize everybody in this room. Nano weapons. Nano. So I'm saying the kind of strength the enemy has for a man like Minister Farrakhan to hold a press conference in a room at the Watergate Hotel. Do you know what it means, the significance of the Watergate Hotel? Now everybody that's old enough or did some search in history knows that former President Richard Nixon was impeached through Watergate. Is that right? His stuff got found out about through Watergate at the Watergate Hotel. But what sprung the trap or opened up the can of worms was a black man who was a security guard. Frank Willis. Oh, this information is in the latest edition of the Final Call, by the way. 45 years ago, Frank Willis is on his post at the Watergate Hotel. He notices that there's some of the doors in the rooms where the president and his team is going to be at got tape over the locks. So the black man's like, yo, he just removes the tape and then went to lunch. I mean, see, that's the righteousness of a black person. They fix a problem and just walk away. They ain't even, I'm not trying to get a raise, man. Some tape, man, move that. And went on about his business. But when he came back from lunch, there was tape over the locks again. So then he reported it. And that opened up the whole can of worms that led to Watergate and Nixon's impeachment. Now, why do I bring that up? That was 45 years ago. Here's a black man speaking to the 45th president. You don't see the correlation? From the Watergate Hotel, everybody want Trump to be impeached. His impeachment is at the hands of Farrakhan. I know, you just don't understand.
That's right.
So brothers and sisters, we gotta clean up.
Yes, sir.
You know, I want you to check the message out, but we definitely have to clean up. There's a letter that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wrote to us in the message on the will of God. And in this letter, toward the end of, this was back in April of 1987. And this letter was part of our study guides, and it's still a part of our study guides of self-improvement, the basis for community development. We're going to close on these points right here. Because it's really about us.
That's what it's about.
You know, as I'm dealing with all this, I want us to know what we got. We have to clean ourselves up. And if you're already on the road striving in your righteousness, let's get it right. Those of us that are registered members of the Nation of Islam, we already know what we got to do. We have a whole program, our 1 meal a day, nothing in between. We supposed to be on that. Now, many of us are saying, I do eat 1 meal a day. You ain't eating at the same time every day. And you're not eating everything that you're supposed to in that 1 meal. Let's get on it. The study of what we know, the revelation out of Elijah Muhammad, we're supposed to be studying that. Message to the black man, our Savior has arrived, fall of America. Why? Because there's something that goes along with our dietary tract and our thinking that connects to our blood and that wisdom. We can have more magnetic attraction than what we have if we get more on our program the way we should. Is that right? We got to do better. I ain't say you, I said we. Is that right? Okay, all praises due to Allah. Self-improvement, the basis for community development. The minister says, it is written in the Bible, if you cannot understand my words, then examine my works, for my works testify of me. He says in this verse, there is a supposition. If you cannot understand my words, sets forth a condition followed by a comma. A comma is a mark of punctuation used for indicating a division in a sentence, accompanied by a slight pause in speech. For 40 long years, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us the word, but it was not clearly understood. This condition, our lack of understanding, was corrected by Allah, who produced a comma, which is a pause, through the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1975. When the comma occurs in speech, the speaker takes in breath during the pause. The speaker inspires. We were given a pause to take in new inspiration. Then means next in order of time, soon after. After the word. If we could not understand it, we are then to examine my works. It is time for us to do the works of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that they may be examined by the world. For our work of doing his work bears witness that every word he spoke was true, that he was indeed who he said he was and more. You, as an individual, are part of his work. The more you and I manifest the results of self-examination, self-analysis, and self-correction, the more we demonstrate that we have been touched by Allah. Through our works, we will prove to the world that Allah has intervened in our lives and is at the very root of this resurrection process that we are now a part of. Best wishes for your continued success. Thank you for reading these few words. See now, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the work that goes along with it proves that God is in our life.
That's right.
We don't have to see Master Fard Muhammad.
That's right.
We don't have to see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You don't have to see Minister Farrakhan. If you got the teaching and you're in the program, your presence and your self-analysis, your self-examination, your self-correction is manifestation that God is present. Every time I look at the black man and woman, I'm looking at God. But now, the knowledge of God, the way of God has to manifest through our works. And once again, I said there ain't no school out there, brothers and sisters. The school is right here in Muhammad Mosque. If you join on with us under this teaching, start coming out to the study group. Start coming out to the meetings. Make the decision today to stand with Minister Farrakhan under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and watch If you're serious about it, we will work with you because God's going to work with you. And the transformation of your life and my life and our life will start taking place immediately.
Yes, sir.
Not in the way that you want it, but in the way that God wants it, tailor-made just for your personality and your condition. There ain't no two Muslims in here alike. Just like there's no two snowflakes alike, there's no two raindrops alike, there's no two leaves alike. Everybody comes into the same work, but God works on us all in a different way from the same foundation. This is the final call. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for giving me your time and your patience and listening to these few words as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praise are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
How many of you today are glad that you came out to Muhammad Mosque by a show of hands? Just raise your hand. Praise be to Allah. We're definitely glad to have you, brothers and sisters. We know that time is of importance and there's many other things that you could have done today. But by you making the choice to come and be with us today, we're thankful to God for that because we don't take that for granted. How many of you here for your first time? Never been to the mosque before? Can I see by a show of hands? All first timers? All praise. Just raise your hands high. Don't be shy. I see you. Praise be to Allah. All right. All right. Let's give them a round of applause. How many of you believe what you heard and that which you understood to be the truth and good for us as a people? Can I see by a show of hands? The truth is independent of itself. Is that right? Well, I would like to know, as a student representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if he was here, he'd be very happy to see that you're glad that you came. He'd be very happy to know that you believe what you heard to be the truth and good for us as a people. But we want to know on his behalf and on behalf of God, how many of you are ready to take a stand and join hands with Minister Farrakhan under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and come on into the mosque and work with us as we work with you and work on our families? If you're ready to take that stand, I want to shake your hand on behalf of Minister Farrakhan. Are any of you ready to take that stand? Just stand up if you're sure, black man. Stand up if you're sure, black woman. Come on forward. I want to shake your hands on behalf of Minister Farrakhan. Thank you. All right, yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. Let's give Brother Ibn and Brother Trevor a well-deserved round of applause. All praises due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That just means God is the greatest. It's getting greater and greater every day. Is that right? These are the kind of things that make us glad, but makes the devil mad because he's missing souls he thought he had. We thank Allah for all our brothers and sisters that have come out today for their first time. Whether you stood up or not to come shake my hand doesn't change the way we feel about you. We don't judge you by that. But we have to make the call because the call is necessary. Is that right? The fact that you say that you're glad you came out, the fact that you say you believe what you heard and that which you understood to be the truth and good for us as a people, that puts a responsibility on you as well. That's right. Because now that you know better, you got to do better. And now that you know, you got to share it with somebody else. Is that right? And put it in your own understanding and language from your personality. Your friends will understand you. You know when you go to your friends and you tell them about the latest movie that's out and you went to see it and it was good, they go by your critique of the movie and say, you know what, I'm going to go see that. Well, go give them a critique of the mosque and your experience here, and then ask them will they come back with you the next time you come. You see? Because all we ask of you, if you didn't stand up and come forward, that's all right. But since you're glad that you came here and you like what you heard, will you come back? How many of you will come back at your earliest convenience? That's all we ask, because this is family, brothers and sisters. This is family. And Muhammad Mosque, when you come here, you see your brother, you see your sister. Is that right? And we're here on behalf of Minister Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to show you the love of God. Because you ain't been loved by nobody else. But God loves you. And now that we're learning how to love like God, we will kill for you, we will die for you, and we will sacrifice our lives to make your life better as ours is getting better. We want for you what we want for ourselves. Don't be afraid because we say we will kill for you. You need somebody that's willing to kill for you. You need somebody around that's willing to die for you. Die for your freedom, your justice, and your equality. Not for no nonsense. Is that right? Not because you don't like somebody on your block. No, we ain't dying for that. That's craziness. We got to learn to unify and love each other as we love ourselves. Is that right? And the mosque is where we help squash beefs. The mosque is where we help all kind of beefs. I'm even dealing with marital beefs. All right, you know, you might need some counseling, you can come to the mosque. You know, you got an issue with somebody on the block and it's getting ready to get hot and heavy, come to the mosque. Don't go to the judge. Both of y'all gonna get locked up. You think you got all the evidence, they gonna lock both of y'all up. You come to the mosque, we'll work that out. Conflict resolution, you understand? You know, you got some problem going on with a sibling, problem going on with a loved one, wife, the husband. Look, come to the mosque if you want to work it out. Let me be clear. Bring me no nonsense and y'all still don't want to stay together. Nobody needs that drama. But if you want to work it out and you don't see no way of it working, no matter what you have tried, then you need a mediator in between. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So who you gonna go to? Dr. Phil? You can't reach Ayana Van Zandt, fix my life. Come to Muhammad. We'll help fix your life. Is that right? That's for those of you that may not have nobody to come to. But sisters, if you want protection, you need to come on into the mosque. I'm just telling you. You know, I'm just saying. Because anybody touch you and you belong to us,
Oh my goodness. Well,
that's their worst nightmare. I mean, the behind whipping they will get, it will bring nightmares into their dreams. What happened? I thought it was the Muslims. They was good. I'm just saying. If they live through it. We don't play that when it comes down to our women. Because civilization is determined not by the man, but by the woman. So we want people to know we're civilized. We walk with a wish attitude. I wish somebody would try to act like they don't think we're civilized. Mess with my woman and find out. And when I say my woman, I ain't just dealing with my wife. I'm talking about our sisters. I just wish you would. I just wish you would. So our classes for our men, we have classes for the brothers and we have classes for the sisters. And in our men's class, men sharpen men and women sharpen women.
that's right.
It's not sexist in a negative sense, it's in a righteous sense. No one knows another man better than another man other than God himself. And no one knows another woman better than another woman other than God himself. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came up with a program for us that was directly from God. And in our class of orientation for the men, every Monday night at 7:30 we meet at our headquartered mosque for New York City in Harlem, Mosque number 7. At 106-8 West 127th Street. From 7:30 to 9:30 is the FOI class and it's also the orientation class. So my brothers who are here, according to your schedule, to the best of your ability, we're inviting you out to that class on Monday night. And that's where brothers come from all 5 boroughs, including Westchester County and part of New Jersey, to that class. So you may see people that you've known a long time ago, ain't seen in a long time. Say, oh, so y'all wondering, man, I'm Muslim in the Nation of Islam. I'm right here. And you'll find that you'll see people that you've never seen before. But one thing you know you're going to see is yourself. When you look to your left, look to your right, look before you, look behind, you're going to see another black man. And he's going to be calling you brother, and he's going to be saying assalamu alaikum or peace, because in that atmosphere is a peaceful atmosphere. And it's a microcosm of the macrocosm of what the kingdom of God is to be established in ourselves, our home, our blocks, and then precinct by precinct, block by block, all throughout our communities. Same thing for you sisters is on Saturdays. When we teach a man, we teach an individual, but when we teach a woman, we're teaching a nation, because you our first teacher, our first nurse, our first doctor, our first everything. You're the second self of God. So your class is very, very important, but you don't teach a woman like you teach a man, and you don't teach a man like you teach a woman. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad designed this thing beautifully. And in your class, sisters, every Saturday morning for the orientation at 9:30. Same location, 106-8 West 127th Street, between Malcolm X and Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. I ain't going to Harlem. Harlem, I ain't going up there, but you'll travel all over for a party. You'll go out of state to hear Beyonce, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. Why you can't go a train ride into another borough for God and yourself? Saturday, I do all my shopping on site. Go shopping afterwards. You'll float into your shopping areas after the class. I don't know. After the whole week, I got to get up. Well, God only helps the people who helps themselves. The class is there waiting for you, and it's nothing but women. No men allowed. It's where you can go ahead and let your hair down and exhale. Shoot. You ready to exhale? But I'm just saying, sisters, it's where we form sisterhood in the name of God. And we all have different personalities, and there are personality quirks. Is that right? Yes. We all have our own idiosyncrasies. Is that right? But when God is at the center of it, it creates a polarity that makes us into magnets after we come out of that class. But we get tried and tested by each other's personality. So we got to remember, what's the root reason why I'm here? It's for God, in my sister and in myself. And so when we look for the best in one another and strive to bring the best out of ourselves, we start learning how to be like God and how to be prepared for our people who are out there suffering, that thinks nobody loves them and don't want to hear a good word from us. It makes us put on the Teflon garment of God. Every Saturday morning, 9:30, 106-8 West 127th Street. Come on out. Muhammad Mosque number 7, all right? Now, our next meeting here will be Wednesday night, and we will have our study group session, and we're dealing with the time and what must be done. All right? You can come and be a part of it. The material will be here for you. We set up the room a different way. We're in circles of 10, and we start delving into the lecture series of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the time and what must be done. And we have questions at the end of the lecture series that form discussion for us to be able to delve in. It's like us building in circles, all right? Come on and be with us. And then next Friday, at the beginning, the 1st of December, we'll have a special study group for self-improvement, the basis for community development, where we'll have a webcast coming from Chicago, and we'll be involved in a live webcast study group on the subject matter of self-improvement, the basis for community development. Come on and be with us then if you can. That meeting starts at 7:30 p.m. on Friday evening, from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. All right? Y'all all right? Yes, sir. So now, brothers and sisters, we want to keep that energy flowing, and we want to practice the principle of charity right now.